In the aftermath of a defensive gun use, should you sue in civil court the person who attacked you? We're going to talk with noted criminal defense attorney Tom Grieve about that. But before we do, let me remind you that we have a gun giveaway going on right now. You can enter for free, but it ends really soon. So click the link in the description down below to find out which brand new gun you could win. Tom, does it make any sense to sue the bad guy? I mean, you know the bad guy is going to sue us, or his family is going to sue us or something like that. Can we just start the round robin of lawsuits? How does that work?
Kevin, just before we start, didn't want to interrupt your intro. You did leave the reading glasses on.
Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag now. Yeah, I've passed 45, so yeah, I occasionally wear readers. They're not on my head.
Not on your head.
Yeah, I can still see the prompter.
I think I can see the contact lenses from here. So.
Great. So again, the round robin of lawsuits. Let's focus on that and not my physical infirmities.
Okay.
So should we be suing the bad guy? And I don't know, can you get blood from a turnip or something like that? What happens?
Right. So that's a great place to start. Okay. Did someone do something and do we care? Right. So kind of one of the classical things that you learn in law school is what are the elements surrounding negligence, right? Duty, breach, cause harm. In other words, someone has a duty to maybe not punch you in the face. Now, obviously, there's a lot of transposition going on here, but someone's got a duty to not punch you. They breached that when they punched you. That caused you to have a orbital socket fracture, right? A fracture in your face or whatever the case may be, right? Okay. So that's the gist as to how some of that would work. Part of the flip side then on the back end, when you're talking to a civil plaintiff attorney, which would be the individual who would be handling that case, is they're going to look at, okay, who's the defendant? Can we prove that this happened? And do we care? I.e., is this person collectible? Is it going to be enough money to make it worth our while, speaking as the attorney? Just kind of a short pro tip. If you're talking to a civil attorney you're going to be looking to hire to sue someone for you, and they want to put you on an hourly retainer, that's probably a bad sign that they think this is the only way they're going to make money rather than taking a percentage, a contingency fee where they take a percentage of the winnings, so to speak. If they want to put you on an hourly and you're suing someone for money, they think that they're better off doing that than getting money out of whatever settlement or outcome, which obviously tells you what?
Yeah, that you're not going to get a lot of money from this person. And I don't imagine there's deep pockets connected to the criminal underworld, where we can sue their insurance company, or, if the person happened to be a low-level drug dealer who decided to shoot at you, you're not going to be suing his boss or anything like that.
Right. So, I mean, the people who are committing street-level crime, violent crime, break-ins, robberies, all that kind of stuff, right? You've dealt with that type. I've dealt with that type as a former state prosecutor and as a criminal defense attorney. Those people are not ordinarily folks rolling with deep bank accounts, insurance plans, umbrella coverage for liability. I mean,
probably can't get their 401k or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
Their 401k is safely tucked away somewhere like that, right? But there's also a second group of people who ordinarily is not that first type. I mean, again, there's exceptions to everything, right? Maybe you get the rich banker who's on a bender 2 days in and they punch you in the bar, right? I mean, there's exceptions. Ordinarily, though, folks who do have means and are viable targets for a civil plaintiff attorney, those are folks who we're not talking about committing intentional acts of violence. They're typically sort of more negligence of, they were drunk and they hit you with their car. So, OWI caused an injury or whatever the case may be, right? So let's just take it to that place, all right? Because the first group, you're stupid to sue them. You're going to spend thousands of dollars to win a point, and you're going to get nothing back.
Yeah, because even if you win a huge judgment, if they don't have any money to pay for, what are we going to do?
Yeah, the term is they're judgment proof.
Yeah.
judgment proof, right? They're non-collectible, so they're judgment proof, right? The second group of people, though, is a more interesting conundrum to be in. So there are various statutes of limitation for virtually everything in the justice system, both civil as well as criminal. Now, there are exceptions like homicide and stuff like that. Various white-collar crimes, the statute of limitations may not necessarily start until they discover the transgression of, you pilfering from the employee whatever fund, right? But generally speaking, there are statute of limitations in place for most places at most times. So from the date that the incident takes place, a clock starts, okay? It starts from let's just take that OWI causing injury as an example. Okay, so drunk driving causing injury, operating while under the influence, right? Yep. In Wisconsin, we call it OWI, but DWI, DUI, all that, same thing, right? So let's take that, and the guy has some insurance, and he's got a house, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, well, so you've got two timelines: one for the government, presumably the state or whoever represents the prosecution, to go after them, to sue them criminally, right?
Yep.
To charge them criminally. Maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 6 years, depending upon misdemeanor, felony, whatever the case may be. Check your local listings. And then separately, you'd have a different running statute of limitations when it comes to suing that person civilly. That would be where you come in. Is, well, I'm going to either presumably hire an attorney to go out there and file the appropriate paperwork and go through the interrogatories, depositions, whatever the case may be. I need to sue the insurance company. I need to sue this person, that person, you name it, right? Okay. Here's why the conventional thinking that I always see in the justice system is don't sue them, or at least delay until after the criminal suit is done. So there's something called collateral estoppel. I know. Big words.
Yep.
But you got your glasses
You
today.
got me on that one, even with the glasses. I'm not familiar with the estoppel. I thought that was like a Latin wine.
So the gist to collateral estoppels is if something happens regarding the same issue in court A, we can use that now in court B. Mm-hmm. Example, if the guy who hit you is convicted and they plead guilty due to the charge, then there's probably a really good chance, subject to local laws, that we can now use that guilty conviction and the facts that were accepted as part of that plea in the civil lawsuit as though they were proven. Mm-hmm. Again, that may not be the case. Check your local listings on laws. This is also where you get into the fact that any criminal defense attorney worth their salt will probably not be seeking to have their client enter a guilty plea. They'll probably be entering a plea of no contest, as an example, which may offer some protections against any upcoming civil lawsuit. If you sue the person first, though, now you're giving the prosecutor a headache, because now perhaps the guy's attorneys can now use all the civil discovery systems, interrogatories, depositions. They can issue their own subpoenas now. As a criminal defense attorney in Wisconsin, I cannot issue my own subpoenas without a judge signing off on it. There's no civil. We have this big of a box when it comes to civil discovery or criminal discovery. Pardon. Yeah. So if there's a victim who decides to sue, they are opening up my playbook of options so far beyond. So generally speaking, if you want to empower the defendant to have a better outcome in both the criminal case and the civil case, go ahead and sue them. If you want to limit their options and try to box them in, and potentially to save a lot of time, effort, and resources as well by utilizing the criminal prosecution, and maybe there's a prosecutor who insists on, I'm only going to take a guilty plea, not a plea of no contest, then wait for that to resolve.
All right. So what you're saying then is wait and think very carefully if you're going to get involved in a civil suit against someone who has wronged you. And again, I can imagine millions of different options and different ways that this whole thing could go out. And there's going to be a lot of but people on the keyboard. Yeah, but what about this? We can look over those comments, but the fact of the matter is most criminals aren't going to have anything that we can get from them if we sue them. And if we file a civil lawsuit too soon, we can mess up our case moving forward. Basically, that's it.
Yes, and if you're looking for a succinct piece of advice from me, it's talk to a highly qualified plaintiff's attorney who can guide you through the process. If you're just looking for one punchline, talk to an attorney who knows what they're talking about, who licensed and is practiced in wherever this is that took place.
Outstanding. Well, thank you again for all your insight, your help on stuff like this. It's great to have you here to answer these questions. I really appreciate it, and thank you so very much. And folks, thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. Now, I'll remind you once again, we have that gun giveaway going on. It ends really soon, so click the link below and reveal which brand new gun you could win. I'm Kevin Michalowski, Director of Content for the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. If you like videos like this, share them with everybody you know. Click the like button up there. Click the notification bell up in the corner so that we can notify you every time we come out with a new video. Stay safe.